Today marks 1625th day of the lessons, day reflections. Yesterday shared 5 stages of nervous system and 6 gears and how they are intertwined. Nervous system is long term, gears are short term, moment to moment. And today I'll speak about gear one. And it's interesting because I'm focusing on nervous system stage four expansion, and gears is about that gears as well, gearing up and moving forward moment to moment. And I really want to learn by myself those gears. And that's why I want to share that I could really develop full understanding, clarity about those gears, that I could really allocate my time properly to gear myself up. So, full breakdown of gear one today. And then, of course, tomorrow will be gear two. And that's how we'll go over gear six, all gears. So, number one, the purpose of gear one is really restoration, not escape, restoration. Because rest and recharge is different than really avoid things. And I think that's again the positive purpose is when you don't do nothing. Because sometimes you can really avoid things and sometimes we can really rest and recharge and improve our capacity because of it. So the purpose of the gear one is restoration, rest, recharge, re-energize. You call it because the most important resource in life is energy. So what's the importance of gear one is, of course, increase energy, reduce the stress, maybe process some emotions because maybe there is something to really rethink, reflect on. Because first gear is the purpose is to really develop the energy for the gears to come. Because if you don't really develop the first gear, of course, it's very, very hard to really focus on gears as in actually car. If you really do want to start a car within gear three, most likely will not gonna work. So what it feels internally, gear one, and I think that when you think about the body, it could be heavy but relaxed. That could potentially feel that okay, like it's something tense, but you relax. And at the same time, slow breathing. And I think that's one of the big thing that I learned recently. How slow breathing really makes it better. How it will influence your life, even like when you really start to feel okay, like I'm getting aroused, and being able to slow down your breathing, in just insane how well it it translates even to your mind. Because gear one is quiet but aware environment. And I think that the thoughts are come and go without urgency. That's the gear one. And I think that the emotions are neutral. And sometimes it's just stable contentment. That's a beautiful emotion, stable contentment. And when it's great when you have that emotional default. And I think big thing is that in gear one, you're able to say, I'm okay by not doing anything. Or I'm okay not doing anything right now. And that's the beautiful thing. Because sometimes when if we think that we are in gear one, but we're not feeling it, we're feeling that anxiety or anxious that I need to do something, that's not gear one. Number three, what it looks like in behavior. The gear one, of course, you understand is a low input and low output. That means that we focus on really stability, that rest, recharge, and you're not able to rest on high input and high output. That's for sure. That's the easy thing. And sometimes when examples is really going for a walk without a phone, laying down with a phone, being able to reflect and quietly without music, or nothing, just quietness. And sometimes it's just not doing nothing, just stretching, just resting. And that's the beautiful thing about year one, really preparing for big things to come. Because I think that sometimes gear one could be mistaken because we can consume, multitask, passively productive, but that's not what it is. And probably one big key about gear one is it might look boring, but that's okay. And that's the point. Number four, common mistakes of gear one, where people fail. Of course, we can fail, and most time we always will make mistakes, but we need to catch ourselves faster and really not do them again. First one is consuming, numbing with recovery. So then scrolling, Netflix, movies, junk input is not uh, gear one. Number two mistake is skipping it completely. As I said, so if you want to gear two, gear three, gear four right away without really restoration and building the energy, most likely not going to work and will lead to shutdown. And you will be forced to gear one without even wanting it. Number three, forcing relaxation. And that's essentially trying to clear your mind, trying to really be, but at this most time, it's just activation altogether. And sometimes he can even get frustrated that we're not calm. And a lot of times it's at least not based on the gear, based on the nervous system stages. So sometimes, okay, like I'm not able to really work on my gears right now. Maybe I'm able to really look into how my nervous system operates right now altogether. Because if I'm totally shut down, this will be very, very hard to really even think about gears. So maybe we develop nervous system, we get into stability in general, and then of course we're able to start thinking about gears again. Number four mistake is leaving too early. Sometimes we can say like I want to do meditation, I will do 3 minutes meditation and I will go and execute for 10 hours straight. No, we need to really spend a little bit time there to really develop that energy, develop that stability, and then at that moment we're able to really gear up. So number five is how to enter gear one in properly. And I think that is sometimes it's just really being able to really slow down even. If you walk, maybe slow. Maybe sometimes you can really walk, maybe able to sit, sometimes lay down. Just really to slow the pace down is one of the key aspects of gearing down. Removing all the inputs, no phone, no conversations, no audio, nothing, just your thoughts, just quietness. Even slowing down your breathing, as I said, is extremely important. Long, even counting till six, and then in the middle counting six, and then and is one of the best ways that I found is really relaxing. And then sometimes you're just staying through discomfort. And sometimes um, when we're able to feel that I'm getting there and I have more energy. Sometimes is we need to have discipline to really stay there a little bit longer that we can fully recover and then move forward. Number six is how to exit gear one, how to transition out of gear two. And I think that's the first thing, as I said, is that we're not supposed to rush. We're not supposed to spike as like from gear one and then now rush to gear six. No, we will need to spend like gear one, gear two, gear three, like all of them needs their time. And we need to have that smooth transitions, that control, rather than go after the things. Number seven, how to know you did it right. Validation. How we validated the gear one was done well. And I think that we're able to look into how we feel after gear one. And then I think that we're supposed to be a little bit slightly clearer, slightly lighter, a little bit more energized, more stable, not rushed. Because if you after gear one you still feel anxiety within you, I think that again partly is nervous in the stages, and partly is maybe we were numbing ourselves rather than resting ourselves, and we actually able to say like, did I actually have low input and low output, or did I actually try to do something? Because again, if you're tired, it might be that you just numb out, and then you need to look into maybe I didn't downshift myself to gear one, and I still that's why I feel anxious. So those are the seven things, and I think that the most important thing that I really want to mention is that the gear one, the totally final truth is that safe stillness that restores capacity. This is the gear one, safe stillness that recovers, restores capacity, and a capacity that's what we are actually seeking because the gear five, gear six, the big gears will require capacity, and sometimes it's like, oh, I really want to move number five, but where's my capacity? Where's your capacity? Your capacity was built in gear one. Maybe you didn't allocate time to it, because I'm guilty of that. Sometimes I just wanted to execute all the time without really actually focusing time on gear one, where you restore yourself, you develop yourself, you really make sure that you have enough energy to really push through hard days. So today was gear one, and tomorrow we'll focus on gear two. So I hope you choose to win and see you tomorrow.